You are not ready for what Kaspa is about to do. You don't realize how early you are, how great this thing is going to pump. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to break down every single thing, the news, the fundamentals, the technicals, the price prediction, its near future. What is it going to do? Guys, I'm so excited. I cannot, I'm just, oh, you know what I'm saying? Listen, guys, before we break this down, before we get into the charts, let's look at Kaspa. Kaspa got listed on two exchanges, Change Hero and Big One Exchange. Now, personally, I've never heard of these myself, but you have to realize any exchange listing is a good listing, whether it's small, small, medium, big, or gigantic. A listing is a listing. It brings in volume, it brings in people, it brings in attention. Okay, is just a compound effect of greatness. It really is. So Change Hero, 10 roughly 10,000 followers. Personally, never heard of them. Big One Exchange, never heard of them too, but already 63,000 followers. So that is good. Um, that's good. That is good. At the end of the day, that is good. That is a step forward. You guys, you have to realize something. You have to realize something that Caspa holders I don't think realize too much is that we are currently at almost 4.5 billion market cap, and we're not listed on Coinbase. We're not listed on Binance. We're not listed on crypto.com. We're not listed on a few other, medium big exchanges. We're not. But yet we're at 4 billion market cap. Okay? Yet Caspa is still holding. What does that mean? That means huge bang is coming. I don't think people are realizing how big Caspa is going to be. Look, a few weeks ago, I already said this, right? Based off this candle, early to mid November, I said, based off this candle, I believe Caspa will be holding roughly 15 cents. And that is exactly what it has done for weeks on end. We can see the lowest it's gone is 14 cents, a little bit more than 14 cents, but it has overall been holding the 15-cent range. So, what does that mean? Guys, that means Caspa is 2 steps away from exploding. Yes, you've heard this. This accumulation pretty much since November of last year is coming to an end. The next move with Caspa is going to be breaking above this zone over here of roughly 17 cents, a little bit more, right? I believe it will, not only because of the timing of the market, but because there's weeks of rejection around the 15 cent. We can see this weekly candle is a big rejection and it is pushing forward. So I believe Caspa is going to do something like this, go up, retest. Next step is going to be attack the all-time highs, pull back a little bit, break above, pull back a little bit, explosion, explosion. And I'll tell you why there's explosion. Fundamentally, when something goes sideways for so long, it is bound to explode. It doesn't matter, you know, on what time frame. Anytime something goes sideways, it explodes. Now, the bigger the time frame, the longer it goes sideways, the bigger the explosion. So I truly do believe Caspa will be going absolutely nuclear. And I believe as its first pump to set it up for altcoin season could be as high as roughly 45 cents to 50 cents. And it's not no coincidence, right? It's not no coincidence. We can see over here when we pretty much take it from before it exploded and the relevant bottoms, it went roughly to the 3.2 area. Now you might say, well, look, the market cap was lower, things were lower, blah, blah, blah. And that is true. We also have to realize there's more money in the market now. The context of the market is we are about to explode. So even though it took less money and less buying pressure to create this kind of move, you have to realize that Caspa only ranged just for a few short months. And it wasn't even like big ranges. Once again, right? We only ranged for a little bit and we didn't have these big pullbacks. And now, like I said, once again, the context of the market is different. Caspa, it's not like any other coin in terms of technical. Some coins pulled back the way Caspa did. Some coins did something like Caspa did. But Caspa is very unique. And I think this is why it's going to explode, because Caspa is one of the only few coins that genuinely just kind of had a range that just didn't break out, right? The only time you would have really made money on Caspa in recent times is when you've either bought here and it finally went up, or when you bought, like in the last few weeks. And, that's okay. Why? Because Caspa's time is coming. It is coming. It is coming. It is coming. Whoa, pause. Listen, but seriously though, accumulation is pretty much when, like, imagine like a catapult. The more you pull back a catapult and then you let it go, the further it's going to launch. It's the same thing with your arm. If you took a tennis ball, and you just threw it like this, you're not going to throw it that high. But if you pull back, go like this, it's going to go further. Okay. And that is the same thing with this. So I believe we are most likely going to make a leg all the way up to here, right? We could go higher, we could go a little bit lower, right? We'll have to see what the charts say. But overall, I think we'll get to 50 cents. We'll probably chill a little bit, maybe down to mid 30s, get ready. And then I believe when altcoin season truly starts, Caspa will go from 50 cents to $2.50 on a realistic area. Listen, back to market cap, if you just 10x this, this is roughly 45 billion market cap at $1.80. The new floor for many coins is going to be 35 to 45 billion market cap. Okay. Yes, there was only like 10 coins or a little bit more that, had this kind of market cap last cycle, but there's so much more adoption now. There's so much more money now. And I believe this is going to be the new floor. Like 25 to 30 projects will hit this at the minimum. So at the minimum, $1.80 is my target. Now, I believe Caspa could even peak at almost 100 billion, right? I believe Caspa could almost peak at 100 billion. Let's just say it for easy, simple numbers. Let's 20x, which would be roughly 90 billion market cap. Okay. So $1.80, then we had $1, $2.80, then we had 80 cents, right? Then we pretty much have 360. Now, 360 is very high for Caspa, but as a peak that stays there for a couple minutes, maybe an hour, I could see that happening with more and more adoption and how well Caspa is and not being listed on exchanges yet that are extremely big. I could see that becoming a real possibility. Now, would I rely on it 100%? No, right? We have to see what the market tells us in that moment. But is it possible? Absolutely. Absolutely, it is. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for this video, right? I still believe Caspa has a long way to go. Personally, anything, I think anything $1.30 is underselling, if I'm being very, very honest. That is my personal opinion, right? Like I said, I believe at the minimum should be roughly $1.80. So $1.30 is kind of cheap. Once we get to $1.50, that's when I might start dollar cost selling, depending on what your strategy is. I don't know if you guys want to go all out at one time. I don't know if you want to sell big chunks. I don't know what your guys' plan is, but I think anything $1.20, $1.30 under that is underselling, in my opinion. So that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure to stay up for more updates. I love you all so, so much. And guys, I'll talk to you guys next time.